within 8 years to do it. And so we kind of hunkered down and said, okay, let's see if we can get through this. Like she said, she was working as a part-time bank teller, and we were doing the deal. Our first house, we moved into a house that was probably 800 or 900 square feet. Literally, we were all about tackling life together, had something to prove. And so, as a wedding gift, my parents bought us a wedding set. And if they make beds as big as king size, then clearly I need a king size bed. And it wasn't that I needed a king size bed. We were just married. We would have thought we wanted to sleep a little closer to each other. It was just a king size. It was big, and that was part of my deal. Was I'm Jeff Seagrave. I need a king size bed, so we got a king size bed. It was the only thing that fit in our bedroom at the time. It was literally walking to fix our bedrooms like this big. And so, we had to get a running start in the hallway. We had to jump through the door and onto the bed. There was not enough room, true story, not enough room to slide between the wall and bed, but I needed a king size bed. Hopefully you're piecing some things together. There are some messages in here. Hang with me. And so we tackled life and kind of doing the deal, and it really was. It was a point where we just had our first child. She was home on maternity leave. Her paycheck, therefore, stopped, which meant bills were a little bit tough to pay. Right? And y'all know there's a big difference between making money and making ends. Y'all know there's a difference, right? I mean, making money, you can go to the movie once in a while, you can maybe buy a soda at the gas station. Making ends is like, I'm starting to pray on Wednesday that we can make it till Friday. Now, that was back when you could write a check on Wednesday and cut the check on Friday. Those days are gone, and if you weren't aware of that, you'll find out, the hard way at some point in your life. And so that was where we were, and it was about 3 weeks after Brooklyn was born, and it was our 7th grade social studies teacher that had approached me and said, I want to come talk to you about what I do. Now, keep in mind, I know this guy my entire life. His son and I were great friends in school, and he says, hey, I want to come over and talk to you about what I do. I'm thinking 7th grade social studies, and I'm not doing that again. And I can't figure out what in the world he's talking about. And he said, well, I work at a company called Primerica. I'm sure you've heard of them before. And I had never heard of Primerica before, ever in my entire life. I said, no, actually, I haven't. And at the time, we were owned by a parent company, Citigroup. He said, well, I'm sure you've heard of our parent company, Citigroup. Now, be honest with me. Anybody ever asked you a question before you really didn't know the answer to, but at the sake of looking stupid, you just go along with it?
Yeah.
Right? So he said, I'm sure you've heard of our parent company, Citigroup. Right? And as soon as he said Citigroup, the only thing that flashed through my mind was the Citgo gas station. God's on the truth. God's on the truth. And he said, I'm sure you've heard of them. I'm like, oh yeah, big company, man. So he books the appointment, and for the next 4 days, I'm trying to figure out how finances and gasoline have anything to do with each other. And true story. So he said, I'd love to come show you what I do. And I was like, what is it really? He said, well, I help people make smart money choices, basically like how to get out of debt and accumulate wealth. Now, I don't know what your response to that would have been. My response literally was like, what are you doing tonight? Right? Because debt we were pretty familiar with. Right? Anybody with me? Don't raise your hand, just blink. Okay, good. And wealth, I knew nothing about it. And so I came home and told Rachel, said, hey, Brad's going to come over and sit down with us. And she kind of told you what that looked like. And he went through the deal. And, there were only really 2 things that I mentioned that I remember from that night. Number one was the rule of 72. And that was a presentation at the time that showed what $10,000 at 12% would do from age 20 to age 68. And if you recall, at 12%, a $10,000 one-time investment grew to worth $2.5 million. Now, I was 20, right? She was 18. And we had $10,000 exactly in our savings account. When I talk really, we were broke, had no money. Savings accounts were not to be touched.